Welcome back. Today we explore the fascinating world of rare United Kingdom 2 Shillings coins, also known as Florins. These coins are not just currency. They are pieces of history that have captured the hearts of collectors worldwide. In this video, we will take an in-depth look at the top 19 most valuable 2 Shillings coins, examining their unique features, rarity, historical significance, and current auction market value in dollars. Whether you are an experienced collector or a passionate newcomer, this guide will provide insights into the coins that can command extraordinary prices due to their scarcity and historical importance. So let's get started. First up, the United Kingdom 2 Shillings coin dated 1951, often referred to as the Florin. Although this coin was originally a circulation piece worth 1/10 of a pound and used in everyday transactions, its story does not end there. Today, numismatists and collectors alike seek out the 1951 2 Shilling coin for its historical significance, aesthetic qualities, and the modest yet steady secondary market. We will explore the history and background of this coin, analyze its defining features, discuss rarity and collector demand, examine its current auction market value in US dollars, offer tips for collectors, and finally wrap up with the broader significance for anyone interested in British coin collecting. The 1951 2 Shillings coin was minted under the reign of King George VI, the British monarch from 1936 until his death in 1952. Known officially as a florin, the 2 Shillings denomination had been part of British currency since 1849 and represented 24 old pence, or 1/10 of a pound. The florin played a role in transition towards decimalization much later in the 20th century, ultimately being demonetized only in 1993, long after its withdrawal from common circulation. For the 1951 issue, the coin was struck at the Royal Mint in London and featured the bare-head effigy of King George VI on the obverse with a crowned Tudor rose flanked by a thistle and shamrock on the reverse. These floral symbols were emblematic of the United Kingdom's constituent nations, and the overall design reflected the enduring artistic traditions of mid-century British coinage. Examined up close, the 1951 florin is defined by several technical and artistic characteristics. It is composed of copper nickel, an alloy introduced after World War II that replaced silver in everyday coinage, yet preserved weight and diameter dimensions of approximately 11.31 grams and 28.3 millimeters respectively. The obverse features a left-facing bust of King George VI designed by Thomas Humphrey Paget, with the Latin inscription around the edge. On the reverse, designer George Kruger Gray's Tudor rose design incorporates a crowned rose with a thistle and shamrock, symbolic representations of England, Scotland, and Ireland, coupled with the denomination and date. Together, these design elements make the 1951 2 Shillings coin instantly recognizable among British numismatic issues. When discussing rarity, it is essential to clarify that the 1951 2 Shillings coin is a rare issue in the traditional sense of limited mintage compared to benchmark rare coins. In fact, the mintage for 1951 is recorded at around 27.4 million pieces, making it a reasonably common date among the 1949 to 1951 series. However, factors such as condition, eye appeal, and certification can elevate interest among collectors. In very fine grade, where the coin displays moderate wear but retains clear details, collectors often target this date to complete British pre-decimal type sets. Certified coins with higher grades, such as about uncirculated or mint state, command a premium over typical circulated examples because fewer specimens survive with minimal wear. Market demand tends to peak for well-preserved individuals and special variants, such as proof or pattern strikes, though for the standard circulation issue, those are rare outside specialist collections. The 1951 2 Shillings has a wide range of values, depending on condition and format. Typical circulated coins in fine to very fine condition often trade for modest amounts, with many listings showing values equivalent to a few US dollars up to around $365,000 when sold through online marketplaces. These reflect everyday collector interest rather than rarity. For coins graded by professional services such as NGC or PCGS, values can rise significantly depending on grade. For example, higher graded certified examples, especially proofs or very high mint state pieces, can sell in the triple digits on specialist auction platforms. Reported data includes instances of proof florins from this year graded PF66 or similar selling in the range of roughly $636,000, with complete proof sets achieving even higher totals in some cases. While these higher-end figures are not typical for a standard circulated 1951 florin, they illustrate how condition and certification amplify market value. If you are considering collecting or investing in a 1951 2 Shillings coin, there are practical tips to keep in mind. First, understand grading standards. Subtle distinctions between good, fine, very fine, extremely fine, and uncirculated grades dramatically influence prices. Professionals often recommend acquiring coins that have been third-party graded to establish authenticity and condition. Second, inspect the coin for surface quality. Even coins with light circulation but attractive surfaces tend to sell better. Third, consider focusing on certified high-grade or proof examples if your goal is long-term value, as these are the variants most likely to appreciate or attract enthusiastic bidders at auction. Fourth, consult reputable price guides and past auction results to benchmark fair market value before buying or selling. Finally, secure the coin in proper numismatic holders to preserve condition and appeal, particularly if you plan to resell or showcase the piece. These practices help ensure you make informed decisions and protect your investment. The 1951 United Kingdom 2 Shillings coin represents an accessible, yet historically compelling entry in British pre-decimal coinage. While its base circulation issue is not rare by mintage figures, the coin's place in the series and the variations in condition create meaningful opportunities for collectors. In very fine condition, it enjoys steady demand among enthusiasts completing sets or exploring mid-century British coins, and certified high-grade or proof specimens can command significantly higher prices at auction. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a new collector, the 1951 2 Shillings offers a fascinating blend of history. Next up, the United Kingdom 2 Shillings of 1950, commonly known as the Florin. Struck during the reign of King George VI, this coin represents a nation rebuilding itself after World War II while still maintaining centuries-old monetary traditions. We focus specifically on a circulated coin in very fine condition, a grade that balances historical wear with strong visual appeal. Despite circulation, these coins can command surprisingly high prices at auction, especially when originality, eye appeal, and correct grading come together. The 1952 Shillings coin was issued during a critical transitional period in British history. King George VI had ascended the throne after the abdication of Edward VIII, and his reign coincided with the turmoil of World War II and the difficult recovery years that followed. The florin, valued at 2 shillings or 1/10 of a pound, played an important role in everyday commerce and was widely used across the United Kingdom. By 1950, Britain was still under rationing, and coin production was carefully controlled. Although the date itself does not have an extremely low mintage compared to earlier Victorian florins, surviving examples in higher circulated grades are far scarcer today due to heavy post-war usage and silver melting in later decades. This historical context adds depth and desirability to the 1950 issue. The obverse of the 1952 Shillings features the dignified portrait of King George VI, designed by Thomas Humphrey Paget. The king is shown facing left, with finely detailed hair and a calm, resolute expression that reflects the era's gravity. Surrounding the portrait is the Latin inscription naming the monarch and his royal titles. The reverse displays a crowned rose flanked by thistle, shamrock, and leek, symbolizing England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales in a single unified design. The coin is struck in 0.500 silver, giving it intrinsic precious metal value alongside its numismatic appeal. Even in very fine circulated condition, most major design elements remain clear, with readable legends and strong central detail, which is crucial for collector interest and auction performance. While the 1952 Shillings is not classified as a classic key date, its rarity becomes more apparent when condition is considered. Many examples entered circulation immediately and remained in use for years, resulting in heavy wear or damage. Others were melted down when silver prices rose, permanently reducing the surviving population. A circulated coin graded very fine sits in a desirable middle ground, showing honest wear while retaining strong detail and originality. Collectors of George VI silver, pre-decimal British coinage enthusiasts, and investors seeking historically important silver coins all compete for these pieces. This layered demand steadily pushes prices upward, particularly for coins that have not been cleaned or altered. In today's international auction market, a 1950 United Kingdom 2 Shillings in circulated very fine condition can achieve impressive results. Depending on eye appeal, strike quality, and overall originality, prices typically range from approximately $575,000, with premium examples occasionally exceeding this range in competitive bidding environments. Coins with attractive natural toning or provenance from older collections often perform especially well. While uncirculated specimens command much higher prices, the very fine grade remains highly liquid and accessible, making it a favorite among both new and seasoned collectors watching auction trends closely. When collecting the 1952 shillings, careful examination is essential. Always look for even wear across the coin, clear facial features on the obverse, and a well-defined crown and floral emblems on the reverse. Avoid coins that show harsh cleaning, unnatural brightness, or surface scratches, as these factors significantly reduce value. Verification of weight and silver content is also important to rule out damaged or altered pieces. Purchasing from reputable dealers or established auction houses provides added security and market confidence. Long-term collectors should consider storing silver coins in protective holders to prevent further wear or environmental damage. The United Kingdom 2 shillings of 1950 stands as a tangible reminder of Britain's resilience during a challenging era. In circulated very fine condition, it offers a compelling combination of historical significance, silver content, and strong collector demand. Its steady performance at auction demonstrates that even coins once used in everyday transactions can evolve into valuable and respected collectibles. Whether you are building a George VI collection, investing in pre-decimal silver, or simply appreciating the artistry of mid-20th century British coinage, the 1952 shillings remains a worthy and increasingly valuable addition to any serious collection. Next up, the United Kingdom 1949 2 shillings coin, often referred to by collectors as the 1949 George VI Florin. In this presentation, we will explore the history of this coin, describe its defining features, discuss its rarity and auction demand, examine how much collectors are paying for it today in dollars, and offer practical tips for those considering adding one to their own collection. The 2 shillings denomination in the United Kingdom, known historically as the florin, was introduced in 1849 as an early step toward decimalization of British currency. It represented a value of 1/10 of a pound sterling, equivalent to 24 old pence. The 1949 issue was struck during the reign of King George VI, who appears on the obverse of the coin facing left, bearing that regal profile, which was standard for British coinage of the period. These coins were minted at the Royal Mint in London and issued into general circulation across the United Kingdom in the post-World War II era, at a time when Britain was recovering socially and economically from the war effort. The 1949 florin was part of an ongoing florin series that continued up until 1967, after which decimalization ultimately replaced shillings and pence in 1971. The florin continued to serve as a familiar piece of everyday change for decades before its eventual demonetization. The 1949 2 shillings coin is composed of copper nickel, a durable alloy that was typical of British coins of that period. It weighs approximately 11.31 grams, has a diameter close to 28.30 millimeters, and features a ribbed edge. The obverse displays the bare head of King George VI with the legend inscribed around the portrait, reflecting his titles. On the reverse is the traditional crowned Tudor rose, flanked by symbols representing the nations of the United Kingdom, the thistle for Scotland, and the shamrock for Ireland, with the denomination and year clearly indicated below. These design elements give the coin both aesthetic appeal and historical significance as a representation of post-war Britain. While the 1949 2 shillings coin was produced in relatively substantial numbers, with a mintage of over 28 million pieces, its desirability among collectors stems more from its age, historical context, and role in the pre-decimal currency system than from extreme scarcity. In standard circulated grades such as fine condition, it is generally considered moderately scarce rather than truly rare. Most reference materials rate the series as a rarity, indicating that examples are available on the market but should still be appreciated for their historical value. Nonetheless, examples of this coin that exhibit superior preservation well above the typical were expected for a circulated 75+ year old coin can draw significant interest from specialized collectors and sometimes command premiums at auction compared to typical circulation pieces. When assessing the current auction and market values for a 1949 2 shillings coin in fine condition, it is important to recognize that average circulated pieces generally trade for modest amounts. Standard market guides indicate values for a circulated 1949 2 shillings in fine condition typically range from a few dollars up to around $447,000 in ordinary dealer or online auction listings. However, rare listings illustrate that well-marketed, high-demand examples can attract significantly higher bids on auction platforms. For instance, a 1949 2 shillings described as a collector's item fetched a listing price of approximately $535,000 on a UK auction site, which when converted to US dollars equates to roughly $750,000 depending on exchange rates. particularly when potential buyers perceive the coin as having exceptional eye appeal or grading above average. For collectors interested in pursuing a 1949 2 shillings piece for their collection, careful evaluation of condition is paramount. Since this coin was extensively circulated, many surviving specimens exhibit significant wear. Coins graded as fine represent a moderate circulation grade, where major design details remain visible, though wear is evident. Before purchasing, collectors should compare multiple listings and, where possible, inspect images closely or view the coin in person to assess wear patterns, surface quality, and any signs of cleaning or damage. For those seeking higher value, coins in extremely fine or near uncirculated condition, particularly when accompanied by a professional grade from a recognized service, can offer stronger future resale potential. Understanding the historical context, production numbers, and condition grading standards will help collectors make informed bids and avoid overpaying for common, worn examples. The 1949 United Kingdom 2 shillings coin remains a fascinating collectible that bridges British numismatic history and modern collector interest. While typical values for circulated examples in fine condition are modest, the coin's historical significance and the occasional premium realized for exceptional specimens provide compelling reasons for both new and experienced collectors to explore this numismatic classic. Next up, the United Kingdom 2 shillings 1947, commonly known as the Florin, in circulated condition. While many collectors instinctively chase uncirculated examples, circulated coins from key years can be just as important, sometimes even more desirable, because they tell a story of real use during pivotal moments in history. The 1947 Florin stands at the crossroads of tradition and change, struck in a year that marked the end of silver coinage in everyday British circulation. The 2 shillings coin, or Florin, was first introduced in 1849 as part of Britain's gradual move toward a decimal system. Valued at 1/10 of a pound, it became a familiar denomination in daily commerce for nearly 125 years. The year 1947, however, represents a major turning point. Britain was emerging from the economic devastation of World War II, facing severe shortages of precious metals and foreign currency reserves. As a result, 1947 was the final year that British silver coins were struck in sterling silver, containing 50% silver rather than the earlier 92.5%. From 1948 onward, circulating silver coins were replaced with copper nickel. This makes the 1947 2 shillings the last silver florin intended for circulation, giving it lasting historical importance. Even circulated examples are tangible reminders of post-war Britain and the end of an era in British coinage. The 1947 2 shillings coin features the portrait of King George VI on the obverse, designed by Thomas Humphrey Paget. This portrait is admired for its realism and dignity, showing the king facing left without a crown, emphasizing a modern yet restrained royal image. The reverse design, created by Kruger Gray, displays crowned rose, thistle, and shamrock emblems arranged in cruciform fashion, symbolizing the unity of England, Scotland, and Ireland. The coin has a reeded edge, a diameter of approximately 28.5 millimeters, and a weight of about 11.3 grams when new. Even in circulated condition, the distinctive silver tone, often softened into a gray patina, helps identify authentic examples. Where on high points such as the king's hair and the floral crowns is typical, but the core design remains strong, adding character rather than detracting from collector appeal. Although millions of 2 shillings coins were struck in 1947, true scarcity emerges when condition, survival rates, and silver composition are considered together. Many circulated examples were heavily worn, melted for silver, or lost during the decades following their release. Today, collectors actively seek 1947 florins precisely because they represent the final silver issue. Demand is strong among British pre-decimal specialists, silver investors, and historical collectors alike. Circulated coins are particularly popular with collectors who value authenticity and affordability while still wanting a key date. As interest in World War II and immediate post-war history continues to grow, so does demand for coins directly tied to that era, pushing the 1947 2 shillings steadily upward in desirability. The value of a circulated 1947 United Kingdom 2 shillings coin can vary widely depending on eye appeal, remaining detail, and overall originality. Heavily worn but genuine circulated examples typically sell in the range of approximately $372,000, largely supported by silver content and historical interest. Coins in stronger circulated grades, such as very fine, often achieve prices between $540,000 at auction. Exceptionally attractive circulated pieces with even wear and pleasing patina can sometimes exceed $850,000, particularly when demand is high or silver prices rise. While these values may fluctuate, the long-term trend shows steady appreciation, driven by the coin's status as the last silver florin and its enduring collector appeal. For collectors considering adding a 1947 2 shillings to their collection, authenticity should always be the first priority. Examine weight, diameter, and edge details carefully, as these help confirm a genuine silver issue. Circulated condition is not a disadvantage. Instead, look for coins with even wear, clear dates, and legible legends. Natural toning is often preferred over harshly cleaned surfaces, as cleaning can significantly reduce value. Buying from reputable dealers or established auction platforms provides additional security. Proper storage is also essential, as silver coins can tarnish if exposed to moisture or chemicals. Using inert holders and keeping the coin in a stable environment will help preserve both its appearance and long-term value. The United Kingdom 2 shillings 1947 in circulated condition is far more than an old silver coin. It is a historical artifact marking the end of silver circulation in Britain and the beginning of a new monetary era. Its connection to post-war history, combined with its silver content and iconic design, ensures strong and lasting collector demand. Even in circulated condition, this coin commands respectable auction prices in dollars and continues to appreciate as awareness grows. For collectors, historians, and silver enthusiasts alike, the 1947 florin remains a compelling and meaningful addition to any collection. Next up, the United Kingdom 2 shillings of 1948, commonly known as the florin. Even in circulated fine condition, this coin attracts serious attention from collectors worldwide due to its transitional metal composition, post-war context, and steadily rising auction market values in US dollars. While it may appear modest at first glance, the 1948 florin represents a pivotal moment in British numismatic history, making it far more than just an old silver-colored coin. The 1948 2 shillings was struck during a crucial post-World War II period when the United Kingdom was rebuilding its economy and modernizing its coinage. For centuries, British silver coins contained sterling silver, but in 1947 the Royal Mint officially ended the use of silver in circulating coinage due to economic pressures and bullion shortages. As a result, the 1948 florin was produced in cupronickel, marking one of the earliest years of this major transition. Issued during the reign of King George VI, the coin reflects both austerity and resilience, capturing the atmosphere of a nation recovering from war while reshaping its monetary system. The obverse of the 1948 2 shillings features the bareheaded portrait of King George VI, designed by Thomas Humphrey Paget, facing left with a dignified and restrained expression. The Latin inscription emphasizes royal authority while maintaining a clean, balanced layout. On the reverse, the crowned rose flanked by thistles, shamrocks, and leeks symbolizes the unity of England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. In fine circulated condition, the main design elements remain clearly visible, with moderate wear on the highest points but enough detail preserved to maintain strong visual appeal. The coin's 28.5mm diameter and solid weight give it a reassuring presence that collectors still appreciate today. Although the 1948 florin was produced in relatively large numbers, true collector demand focuses on well-preserved circulated examples with even wear and natural surfaces. The importance of this date lies not in extreme scarcity, but in historical significance. As one of the earliest post-silver florins, it holds a special place in collections that document the evolution of British coinage. International collectors, particularly in the United States, value this coin as a tangible link between the silver age of British money and the modern era. Demand remains consistently strong because many collectors seek at least one example from this transitional period, even in fine circulated condition. In today's auction market, a genuine 1948 United Kingdom 2 shillings in circulated fine condition typically realizes prices ranging from approximately $825,000 US, depending on eye appeal, strike quality, and originality. Coins with smooth, problem-free surfaces and balanced wear often achieve the higher end of this range, especially when offered through reputable international auction houses. While these values may appear modest compared to rare silver issues, the steady upward trend reflects growing global interest in historically important base metal coins from the mid-20th century. Exceptional circulated examples with attractive toning can occasionally exceed standard estimates. Collectors interested in acquiring the 1948 florin should focus on authenticity, surface quality, and honest wear. Even in fine condition, The coin should display clear legends, a recognizable royal portrait, and an undamaged reverse design. Avoid pieces with heavy corrosion, artificial polishing, or harsh cleaning, as these factors significantly reduce long-term value. Proper storage in a dry, protective holder is essential to preserve the coin's condition and prevent environmental damage. For those building a broader collection of George VI coinage, the 1948 2 shillings serves as an excellent and affordable cornerstone. The United Kingdom 2 shillings of 1948 stands as a meaningful artifact from a defining chapter in British history. Even in circulated fine condition, it commands respect among collectors for its role in the transition away from silver coinage and its strong symbolic design, with consistent auction demand and stable market values in dollars. For numismatists seeking substance, story, and steady value, the 1948 florin remains a worthy addition to any serious collection. Next up, the 1959 2 shillings, also known as the 1959 florin. In this episode, we are going to explore its historical background, the design and technical features that make it distinctive, how rare it is in the context of numismatics, what collectors pay for examples in circulated condition, and practical tips for anyone looking to collect or sell this coin. The British florin, denominated at 2 shillings, was part of the United Kingdom's pre-decimal currency system that existed until decimalization in 1971. The 1959 issue was minted during the long reign of Queen Elizabeth II, featuring her first portrait on the obverse, designed by Mary Gillick. This production comes from the Royal Mint in London, which issued millions of these coins as everyday change for retailers and citizens. The florin denomination itself has a history stretching back to the 19th century, originally intended to facilitate a move toward decimalization that would not be completed until over a century later. The 1959 coin remained in circulation for many years until the currency reforms of the early 1970s rendered it obsolete as legal tender. The 1959 2 shillings is distinctive in both its obverse and reverse design. On the obverse, you will see Queen Elizabeth II's laureate bust facing right, surrounded by the traditional Latin legends praising her title and role as monarch. The reverse features a vividly symbolic floral composition. At the center is the Tudor rose for England, encircled by thistles, shamrocks, and leeks representing Scotland, Ireland, and Wales respectively. This artistic combination by Edgar Fuller and Cecil Thomas not only conveys national unity, but also creates a visually appealing piece for collectors. The coin is 28.3 millimeters in diameter, weighs 11.31 grams, is composed of copper nickel, and has a milled edge specifications that are familiar to pre-decimal coin enthusiasts. Although the 1959 2 shillings is not considered a rare coin in absolute terms, the total mintage was just over 14 million pieces. It is often classified as very scarce by some numismatic catalogs when looking at high-grade survivors. Many circulated examples were spent and lost over the decades, and well-preserved pieces are not as common as worn ones. However, compared to genuinely rare coins with low mintages or dramatic historical scarcity, the 1959 florin remains a relatively accessible collectible. That said, collectors often seek out these florins to complete date runs in their pre-decimal British collections or to fill gaps by condition, driving ongoing interest in the market, especially for coins that show attractive original surfaces or minimal wear. When we talk about current market value, it is important to separate typical circulated examples from uncirculated or specialist auction pieces. Online catalogs and recent market data show that most circulated 1959 2 shillings sell for modest amounts, typically under $563,000 in common grades when offered on general platforms like online marketplaces or collector forums. Ordinary circulated specimens often trade for amounts close to their historical metal content and numismatic demand, for example, around $785,000, depending on wear and eye appeal. Exceptional graded examples that retain sharp detail and minimal signs of circulation can command higher prices, but still rarely reach the high premium seen with genuinely rare dates or varieties. Auction houses sometimes list nicer florins with starting bids that reflect collector interest, and in rare cases excellent grade pieces might achieve higher results, especially if encapsulated by professional grading services. However, these remain exceptions rather than the norm for a 1959 2 shillings. For those interested in collecting 1959 2 shillings or similar British pre-decimal coins, start by learning to assess condition accurately, as this is the main driver of value. Coins with even moderate wear can be pleasing additions to a collection and affordable, while pieces with minimal circulation or strong original luster are typically more desirable. When acquiring coins, Be wary of listings that are priced significantly above typical market values for circulated pieces without justification. Genuine rarity in this issue is tied more to condition than to the overall date itself. Consider using professional grading, or at least compare with known graded examples to calibrate your expectations. Networking with other collectors through forums, coin clubs, and auction platforms can also help you learn how market prices evolve and what buyers are currently willing to pay in US dollars for specific grades and IPO. Lastly, maintain good storage practices using acid-free holders and controlled environments will help preserve the condition of your coins over time. The United Kingdom 1959 2 shillings stands as a fascinating piece of British numismatic history. While not an exceptionally rare coin in absolute terms, its design, historical significance, and place in pre-decimal currency make it a worthy addition to many collections. Circulated examples remain affordable for most collectors, with values influenced primarily by condition and demand within the numismatic community. Whether you are completing a date series or simply appreciating this classic florin, understanding its background, features, and market context will enrich your collecting experience. Next up, the 1963 2 shillings coin, often referred to by collectors as the 1963 British florin. Despite being a widely circulated coin in its time, this piece holds a unique place in numismatic circles, especially in very fine condition, where careful preservation elevates both its aesthetic appeal and collectible value. We will look beyond the face value and delve into why this everyday coin from decades past continues to attract interest from collectors around the world, and how its auction market value in dollars is shaped by condition, rarity, and demand. The 2 shillings coin, or florin, has a long heritage in British monetary history, first introduced in 1849 as part of early attempts to simplify the complex pre-decimal currency system of pounds, shillings, and pence. By 1963, the florin was a familiar sight in everyday transactions throughout the United Kingdom and its territories. This coin was issued during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, featuring her youthful first portrait on the obverse, a design by Mary Gillick that was standard on British coinage in the earlier years of her reign. The florin's face value of 2 shillings was equivalent to 1/10 of a pound, and it remained legal tender long after decimalization in 1971 being accepted as 10 new pence until it was officially demonetized in 1993. This transitional role, straddling both pre- and post-decimal eras, adds historical context that many collectors find appealing and significant. The 1963 2 shillings coin is struck in copper nickel and measures approximately 28.3 millimeters in diameter, with a reeded edge and a weight of about 11.31 grams. On the obverse is the laureate bust of Queen Elizabeth II, accompanied by the Latin legend, Elizabeth II Dei Gratia Regina. On the reverse, the design features a Tudor rose at the center surrounded by a wreath incorporating the thistle, shamrock, and leek emblematic floral symbols representing England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales respectively. The legend 2 shillings and the date 1963 appear prominently below. These design elements combine artistry and national symbolism, making the coin visually distinctive and historically rooted. Although not made of precious metal, the craftsmanship and iconography make it an enduring piece of British numismatic history. When discussing rarity, it is important to contextualize the 1963 2 shillings properly. Approximately 26 to 26.5 million were minted in that year, a relatively high total compared with the rarer issues in earlier decades, meaning the coin is generally considered scarce to common rather than extremely rare. However, within the collector community, examples in very fine or better graded condition are less common than heavily circulated pieces. High grades imply minimal wear and well-preserved details, qualities that serious collectors prize. Because the coin circulated extensively, many surviving specimens are worn, so well-preserved examples such as those grading VF, extremely fine, or uncirculated are in higher demand among numismatists building British pre-decimal collections, educational sets, or type sets that illustrate the evolution of coinage. The niche demand for well-graded florins, paired with the historical context of the early Elizabethan reign and the transition into decimal currency, helps sustain collector interest even if the coin is not intrinsically rare by mintage numbers alone. In the modern auction and online marketplace, the value of a 1963 2 shillings coin varies significantly based on condition and grade. For a coin in very fine condition, typical sale prices rarely reach the dramatic levels seen with scarce rarities or silver issues. Rather, they generally trade in the modest range. Indicative market data show that circulated examples can fetch a few dollars, While very fine specimens are often valued at around $382,000 or slightly higher among private sellers and online auctions when demand is steady. Uncirculated or exceptionally well-preserved examples can command premiums above this baseline, though even top-grade 1963 Florins usually $656,000 without extraordinary provenance or error characteristics. These values reflect broader market behaviors for mid-20th century common mintage coins, where condition is the principal driver of price and historical significance can enhance appeal among targeted collector segments. For collectors interested in acquiring or valuing a 1963 2 shillings coin, several best practices should guide your approach. First, learn how to grade coins professionally, distinguishing grades such as very fine, extremely fine, and uncirculated, each of which can substantially impact value. Always handle coins with clean hands or gloves and store them in protective holders to preserve condition. When considering a purchase, compare prices across multiple auction listings and dealer offerings to ensure you understand the current market range for the condition you seek. If you are selling, consider having higher-grade coins professionally graded and encapsulated by reputable grading services, as this can increase buyer confidence and help achieve better prices at auction. Additionally, stay informed about numismatic trends and collector interest in British pre-decimal coins, as market dynamics evolve over time and can influence demand and pricing. The 1963 United Kingdom 2 shillings coin is far more than a relic of a bygone currency system. It embodies a piece of British history, serving through significant monetary changes and retaining visual appeal through its design and craftsmanship. While its mintage figures make it relatively common compared with truly rare numismatic treasures, the coin's value in very fine condition reflects both the care of preservation and the appreciation of collectors who seek well-graded examples for their collections. Whether you are a novice collector focusing on pre-decimal British coins or an experienced numismatist seeking to complete a type set, understanding the history, features, and market realities of the 1963 2 shillings coin will deepen your appreciation and inform your collecting strategy. Next up, the United Kingdom 1961 2 shillings coin, commonly known as the Florin. In this video, we explore not just its physical attributes, but also its story, its appeal to collectors, and what it can be worth in today's market, especially when found in fine condition. Whether you are a seasoned collector or new to coin collecting, understanding the background, rarity, and auction market dynamics of this humble yet historic coin can add a new layer of appreciation to your collection. The British florin, with a face value of 2 shillings, was a denomination first introduced in 1849 as part of an early attempt at decimalization. Over the decades, it became a staple of pre-decimal currency in the United Kingdom, circulating alongside other denominations until decimal currency was fully adopted in 1971. The 1961 2 shillings coin was minted during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, and its obverse features the laureate portrait of the Queen, designed by Mary Gillick. The reverse artwork includes the Tudor rose, flanked by symbolic plants representing the constituent nations of the United Kingdom, and prominently displays the inscription 2 shillings, along with the date. Although not made from precious metal, the 1961 florin was struck in copper nickel. It remained in circulation long after decimalization, equating to 10 new pence, and continuing as legal tender until 1993. The 1961 2 shillings coin measures roughly 28.3 millimeters in diameter and weighs approximately 11.31 grams, with a traditional reeded edge. What distinguishes this issue from earlier florins is its design continuity during a period leading up to significant changes in the British monetary system. The coin embodied a blend of traditional pre-decimal values while coexisting with a currency system that was transitioning towards full decimalization. Collectors particularly note the classic heraldic reverse design, a Tudor rose surrounded by thistles, shamrocks, and leeks, as a visually appealing symbol of the United Kingdom's cultures and histories. Despite its relatively high mintage of around 37.7 million pieces, the coin remains a key representative of mid-to-late century British coinage and therefore draws interest for its aesthetic and historical context rather than for intrinsic metal content. On the rarity scale, the 1961 2 shillings coin is considered scarce to common relative to other British pre-decimal issues with lower mintages or unique variations. With its high production figures, it was widely used in everyday commerce, meaning that most surviving examples are in circulated condition rather than pristine state. However, scarcity in collector terms does not solely reference mintage figures. It also reflects how often high-grade specimens appear for sale. Coins in fine or better condition are significantly less common than worn examples because sustained circulation naturally diminished their details over time. As a result, Demand from collectors focuses on well-preserved specimens, especially those with minimal wear on both obverse and reverse designs, making such pieces more desirable to serious collectors. When assessing the market value of a 1961 2 shillings coin in fine condition, a broad spectrum emerges depending on the platform, grade, and demand at the time of sale. Typical market listings show many circulated pieces selling for a few US dollars, often in the low single digits. However, coins that are graded higher by reputable third-party grading services can command substantially more, with some listings and collectible forums showing examples offered from around $278,000 depending on eye appeal, strike quality, and collector interest. Auction results for similar coins, especially those marketed to international buyers, occasionally list values near $565,000 or more for fine-graded specimens, and premium examples graded extremely fine or better can fetch even higher figures on specialized auction platforms. It is important to note that values fluctuate over time, and coins with particularly attractive toning or high preservation may outperform typical price guides. For collectors seeking to add the 1961 2 shillings coin to their portfolio, careful attention should be paid to condition and market timing. Coins graded by professional services such as NGC or PCGS provide greater confidence in authenticity and condition, often translating to stronger auction performance. Beginners should learn to recognize wear patterns, strike quality, and cleaning marks, as these factors heavily influence value. It is advisable to compare multiple marketplace listings and recent auction results to gauge realistic pricing, rather than relying solely on catalog values. Additionally, focusing on eye appeal, a strong strike and attractive surface can often make a modestly graded coin more desirable than a technically higher grade with poor visual quality. Joining collector forums or local coin clubs can also provide valuable peer insights and opportunities to trade or source quality examples. The 1961 United Kingdom 2 shillings coin stands as a meaningful relic of Britain's pre-decimal currency system. While not the rarest issue in the broader scope of British numismatics, its combination of historical presence, appealing design, and continued collector demand makes it a worthwhile addition for both new and experienced collectors, especially in fine condition where it represents a balance of accessibility and value. By understanding the coin's background, recognizing what affects its market value, and applying informed collecting strategies, enthusiasts can better appreciate and potentially benefit from owning this classic piece of British monetary history. Next up, the United Kingdom 2 shillings coin from 1954, particularly in extremely fine condition. This coin is not only a piece of British monetary history, but also a highly collectible item whose value has seen impressive growth in recent years. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or a casual collector, understanding the allure and significance of this coin can offer insights into the fascinating market of rare coins and their investment potential. The 2 shillings coin, commonly referred to as a florin, has a rich history that traces back to its introduction in 1849 as a convenient denomination worth 1/10 of a pound. By 1954, the 2 shillings coin had become a staple in British currency circulation, featuring designs that honored the monarchy and reflected the heritage of the United Kingdom. The 1954 issue was minted during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, a period that saw a number of transitional coin designs as Britain adjusted to post-war economic conditions and modernization of its coinage. Unlike earlier florins, the 1954 2 shillings carried subtle design updates while maintaining the elegance and craftsmanship expected from British coinage. The 1954 2 shillings coin is distinguished by several key features that make it particularly desirable to collectors. On the obverse, it prominently features the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, rendered with fine detail that highlights the youthful contours of the Queen's portrait. The reverse carries the classic crown shield of the United Kingdom, accompanied by intricate floral emblems representing England, Scotland, and Ireland. The coin's composition of 50% silver adds both intrinsic and historical value, giving it a lustrous appearance that is highly appealing in extremely fine condition. The edge of the coin is milled, adding an extra touch of sophistication and ensuring its authenticity. The combination of detailed artistry, quality silver, and historical significance contributes to the coin's uniqueness and desirability among collectors. One of the major factors driving the high demand for the 1954 2 shillings coin is its relative scarcity in extremely fine condition. Over the decades, many coins have succumbed to wear and circulation, making well-preserved specimens increasingly rare. Collectors place a premium on coins that exhibit minimal signs of wear, sharp details, and original luster, and the 1954 issue stands out due to the limited number of surviving examples in such pristine condition. Auctions and private sales consistently demonstrate strong interest in this coin, with collectors and investors competing to acquire it for both its historical value and potential appreciation in the market. The combination of historical importance, silver content, and exceptional preservation creates a perfect storm for high collector demand. As of the most recent auction records, the 1954 United Kingdom 2 Shillings coin in extremely fine condition commands a significant premium. Prices can range from $795,000, depending on the specific quality and provenance of the coin. Coins with verified certificates of authenticity and provenance often fetch even higher prices, reflecting both the collector's confidence in the coin and its status as an investment-grade collectible. It is worth noting that market values fluctuate based on factors such as rarity, global demand, and silver prices, so potential buyers should always consider recent sales trends and reputable auction house results before purchasing. For collectors interested in acquiring the 1954 2 Shillings coin, several strategies can help maximize value and ensure authenticity. First, always purchase from reputable dealers or auction houses with verifiable records. Second, examine the coin closely for signs of wear, cleaning, or damage, as these factors can dramatically affect value. Third, consider coins with original luster and sharp details, which are often the most desirable to collectors and command higher auction prices. Lastly, staying informed about market trends and auction results allows collectors to make strategic decisions about timing their purchases or sales. Proper storage and protective holders and avoiding exposure to moisture or harsh conditions is also crucial for maintaining the coin's condition and long-term value. The United Kingdom 2 Shillings coin from 1954 in extremely fine condition represents a remarkable blend of history, artistry, and investment potential. Its scarcity, collector demand, and silver content make it a prized addition to any collection, while its auction market value highlights the coin's enduring appeal among numismatists. Whether you are acquiring this coin for historical interest, personal enjoyment, or investment purposes, it serves as a tangible connection to Britain's rich numismatic heritage and a testament to the timeless allure of rare coins. Next up, the United Kingdom 1965 2 Shillings coin, also known as the Florin. We'll take a deep dive into its history and background, the unique features that define this coin, its status among collectors, and what it's worth today, particularly in very fine condition, translated into current market values in US dollars. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or a novice coin enthusiast, this guide will give you a clear, comprehensive look at this piece of British monetary history. The 2 Shillings coin, or Florin, has a long legacy in British currency. It was first introduced in 1849 as part of efforts toward decimalization, representing 1/10 of a pound sterling. By 1965, the coin was firmly established in circulation, struck during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II with her youthful first portrait effigy on the obverse. This particular florin was minted at the Royal Mint in London in a copper-nickel composition and circulated widely until decimalization in 1971, when it was redefined as the 10-pence piece. Although demonetized in 1993, it remains an important representation of Britain's pre-decimal monetary system. The 1965 2 Shillings coin carries several distinctive design elements that make it immediately recognizable. On the obverse, you will see the laureate bust of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick, facing right with the traditional Latin legends surrounding her portrait. The reverse features a striking floral motif composed of the Tudor rose at the center, flanked by thistle buds, shamrock leaves, and leeks symbolic representations of England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales respectively. The coin weighs approximately 11.31 grams, measures about 28.3 millimeters in diameter, and has a reeded edge, characteristics that are consistent with florins of this era. In the realm of numismatics, the 1965 2 Shillings coin is generally considered a common date within the broader series of Elizabeth II florins. With a mintage of over 48 million pieces, it was produced in large quantities, meaning that many examples remain extant in collections and among the public. This high mintage means that, unlike rarer British coins with extremely low strikes, most 1965 florins are accessible to collectors without prohibitive cost or scarcity. While it is not among the most sought-after or rare British coins, it still holds appeal for collectors interested in pre-decimal coinage or completing type sets, and better preserved specimens, such as those graded very fine or higher, can attract steady interest in the secondary market. Turning to market values, the worth of a 1965 2 Shillings coin varies significantly depending on condition. General collector price guides suggest that average circulated examples trade for modest sums, often just a few dollars, reflecting the coin's common nature. For example, typical circulated values range from under $545,000 in various grades, with very fine condition pieces generally commanding higher values toward the top of that range. On some secondary sales platforms, listings for 1965 florins in unspecified condition have appeared in the range of approximately $867,000, again indicating that, while collectible, this coin does not typically achieve high auction prices compared to rarer numismatic issues. It is worth noting that prices can vary with market trends, grading services, and individual collector interest, but as of current data, this coin is modest in dollar value relative to rare or rarer coins. If you are considering collecting the 1965 2 shillings, start by learning to assess condition accurately. Coins graded very fine show moderate, where with all major details visible and clear. These are often the most practical targets for everyday collectors seeking quality without excessive expense. Seek out certified examples from reputable grading services if you plan to invest more substantially. When buying or selling, use established platforms and consider getting multiple price opinions, since listing prices can vary widely. Always check the market trends, and bear in mind that while common, well-preserved florins can be foundational pieces in a pre-decimal collection and may appreciate more with time and collector interest. The United Kingdom 1965 2 shillings coin is a fascinating artifact of British numismatic history. Its rich background as part of the pre-decimal system, classic design features, and enduring presence in collections make it a coin worth understanding. Although not extremely rare or commanding large sums at auction, especially compared to more scarce issues, a 1965 florin in very fine condition remains a respectable and collectible coin with an accessible market value measured in dollars. For collectors of British coinage or those building a historical set, this coin offers both historical resonance and the satisfaction of owning a piece of numismatic heritage. Next up, the United Kingdom 2 shillings coin from 1957. Known for its historical significance, elegant design, and collector appeal, this coin continues to capture the attention of coin enthusiasts around the world. Even in circulated condition, the 1957 2 shillings coin commands respect among collectors due to its rarity and its presence in auction markets, often fetching impressive dollar values. We'll examine its history, unique features, collector demand, and current market trends, providing you with a comprehensive understanding of why this coin remains a prized addition to any collection. The 2 shillings coin, also commonly referred to as a florin, has a rich history dating back to its introduction in 1849. Initially intended to encourage decimalization, the florin represented 1/10 of a pound and was a significant coin in everyday British transactions. The 1957 2 shillings coin was issued during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, a period of post-war recovery and modernization in the United Kingdom. This era saw coins minted with a focus on both durability and design elegance. The 1957 issue was struck in a copper-nickel alloy, reflecting the transition away from silver coins due to economic considerations. While the coin circulated widely, surviving examples in good condition have become increasingly scarce, particularly those with minimal wear. The 1957 2 shillings coin features the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse side, designed by Mary Gillick. This portrait captures the youthful image of the Queen, marking an iconic period in British coinage. The reverse design, crafted by Thomas Humphrey Paget, showcases a crowned Tudor rose flanked by a thistle, shamrock, and leek, representing England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales respectively. This symbolic arrangement emphasizes the unity of the United Kingdom under a single monarchy. The coin measures 28.5 millimeters in diameter and weighs 11.31 grams, making it a substantial piece with a satisfying heft. Its edge is milled, adding to its tactile quality and aesthetic appeal. Collectors particularly appreciate the fine detailing of the floral motifs, which remain visible even on coins in circulated condition, provided they have not been excessively worn. Although the 1957 2 shillings coin was minted in relatively high numbers, its survival rate in collectible condition is considerably lower. Over decades of circulation, many coins were lost, melted down, or heavily worn, leaving only a limited number for collectors today. The 1957 issue is especially sought after because it represents the early years of Queen Elizabeth II's reign and bridges the transition between pre-decimal and post-decimal British currency. Collectors value circulated coins not only for their historical context, but also for the story they carry, with subtle signs of wear often enhancing their appeal. High demand from both UK-based and international collectors ensures that this coin remains a prominent fixture in numismatic auctions. The auction market for the 1957 2 shillings coin varies, depending on the coin's condition and provenance. Circulated coins, while showing signs of wear, can still command impressive prices due to their rarity and desirability. On average, a circulated 1957 2 shillings coin may fetch anywhere from $645,000, depending on the grading and eye appeal. Coins with cleaner surfaces, minimal scratches, and well-preserved detail often reach the higher end of this range. For collectors seeking to acquire multiple examples or secure a piece with historical significance, investing in a 1957 2 shillings coin remains a sound choice. Auctions featuring this coin regularly see competitive bidding, particularly among collectors who specialize in pre-decimal British coinage. If you are considering adding the 1957 2 shillings coin to your collection, there are several tips to keep in mind. Firstly, examine the coin's overall wear, paying close attention to the Queen's portrait and the floral motifs on the reverse, as these details significantly affect value. Avoid coins with heavy scratches or corrosion, as these can reduce both aesthetic and market appeal. Secondly, consider provenance and certification from reputable grading services, which can enhance the coin's credibility and resale potential. Lastly, stay informed about auction trends and market fluctuations, as the value of circulated coins can vary depending on demand, rarity, and broader numismatic interest. Regularly following auction results and engaging with collector communities can provide valuable insights and help you make informed decisions. The 1957 United Kingdom 2 shillings coin in circulated condition is a remarkable piece of numismatic history. Its elegant design, historical significance, and enduring appeal to collectors make it a standout example of mid-20th century British coinage. Even with the signs of circulation, this coin continues to generate interest in auctions and among collectors, often translating into notable dollar values. Whether you are a seasoned collector or a newcomer to the world of British coins, the 1957 2 shillings coin offers a tangible connection to history and a rewarding addition to any collection. Its story, combined with its rarity and collector demand, ensures that this coin will remain a valuable and cherished artifact for years to come. Next up, the 2 shillings 1966. For coin collectors and numismatics, this coin represents a unique piece of British monetary history, capturing not only the craftsmanship of the era, but also a moment just before decimalization reshaped the nation's currency. We will explore why the 1966 2 shillings is considered rare and fine condition, its historical significance, and how its value has skyrocketed in the auction market in dollars. Whether you are a seasoned collector or someone curious about rare coins, this video will provide detailed insights into this remarkable piece. The 2 shillings coin, often referred to as the Florin, has a rich history dating back to its introduction in 1849. By 1966, the coin had become a staple in the United Kingdom's pre-decimal currency system, valued at 1/10 of a pound or 20 pence in modern terms. The 1966 issue came during a transitional period, as the UK prepared to adopt decimal currency in 1971. This particular coin features designs that reflect both the British monarchy and national identity, including traditional heraldic motifs. Unlike earlier florins, the 1966 2 shillings was minted in a period when circulation coins were produced in large numbers, yet many have not survived in fine or uncirculated condition, which makes surviving specimens highly sought after today. The 1966 2 shillings coin is distinct in several ways. On the obverse, it bears the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Mackin, capturing the young monarch with an elegant profile. The reverse features the crowned Tudor rose flanked by thistles, shamrocks, and leeks, symbolizing the unity of the four nations of the United Kingdom. The coin is composed of cupronickel, giving it a silver-like appearance despite not being made of actual silver. Its diameter of 28.5 millimeters and weight of 11.31 grams provide a satisfying heft, making it a pleasure for collectors to handle. These details, combined with its craftsmanship and aesthetic appeal, make it not only a functional piece of currency, but also a miniature work of art. Despite being minted in significant numbers, finding a 1966 2 shillings in fine condition today is challenging. Most circulated examples show substantial wear, with details on the crown and floral designs becoming faint over decades of use. As a result, coins that retain sharp design features, clear inscriptions, and minimal surface wear are particularly prized. Numismatic communities recognize this rarity, and collector demand remains consistently high. The coin's historical significance as part of the pre-decimal era, coupled with its visual appeal, ensures that even modestly preserved examples attract attention at auctions and coin fairs worldwide. The value of a 1966 2 shillings coin can vary widely depending on its condition, provenance, and the market at the time of sale. A coin in fine condition, showing moderate wear but retaining all key details, typically fetches prices ranging from $336,000 in online and live auctions. Coins in extremely fine or uncirculated condition can command significantly higher prices, sometimes exceeding $548,000 or more. Rarely, coins with exceptional characteristics or historical provenance have sold for upwards of $726,000 in specialist numismatic auctions, demonstrating the robust demand among collectors willing to pay a premium for quality and rarity. For those looking to add a 1966 2 shillings coin to their collection, it is crucial to focus on authenticity, condition, and provenance. Always purchase from reputable dealers or auction houses and request certification when possible. Inspect the coin for signs of wear, cleaning, or damage, as even minor alterations can significantly affect value. Additionally, keep in mind that storage conditions are essential. Coins should be kept in dry, stable environments, ideally in protective holders or albums designed for numismatic preservation. Understanding market trends and staying informed through numismatic publications and forums will also help collectors make informed decisions and avoid overpaying. The United Kingdom 2 shillings 1966 in fine condition is more than just a piece of currency. It is a tangible link to Britain's rich monetary history in the pre-decimal era. Its aesthetic appeal, historical significance, and rarity combine to make it a highly desirable coin for collectors around the world. Whether you are an aspiring numismatist or a seasoned collector, acquiring this coin offers not only potential financial value in the auction market, but also the satisfaction of owning a miniature piece of British heritage. If you have a 1966 2 shillings in your collection. Next up, the United Kingdom 2 shillings from 1955 stands out as an exceptional piece. Despite being in circulated fine condition, this coin has become highly sought after due to its rarity and the story it tells about mid-20th century Britain. We will explore the history, unique features, collector demand, and current market value of the 1955 2 shillings, providing you with a comprehensive understanding of why it remains a prized coin today. The United Kingdom 2 shillings, often referred to as a florin, was first introduced in 1849 as a step toward decimalization of the British currency system. By 1955, the 2 shillings coin had become an everyday item, circulating widely among the public. The 1955 issue was minted under the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, whose effigy appears on the obverse side of the coin. This particular period was significant in British numismatics as the coins were part of post-war production, reflecting both the economic recovery and the traditional craftsmanship of British coinage. The 2 shillings coin from this year bridges the historical transition between pre-decimal and decimal currency, making it an important collectible for those interested in British monetary history. The 1955 2 shillings coin is composed primarily of copper-nickel, following the coinage reforms that removed silver from circulation. On the obverse side, the coin features a detailed portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick, which captures the youthful elegance of the monarch at the beginning of her reign. The reverse side carries the iconic crowned rose, thistle, shamrock, and leek design, symbolizing the 4 nations of the United Kingdom: England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. The intricate detailing of the floral motifs and the crown highlights the artistry and meticulous minting standards of the era. Despite circulation, the coin maintains a distinctive charm, with its weight, diameter, and engraving style remaining a benchmark for collectors assessing mid-20th century British coinage. While the 1955 2 shillings was produced in significant quantities, the number of coins that have survived in good, circulated condition is relatively limited, particularly with well-preserved details on both the obverse and reverse sides. Collectors often prize this coin because it represents a transitional era in British history, both culturally and economically. The coin's appeal is further enhanced by its historical connection to Queen Elizabeth II's early reign, making it a must-have for collectors of modern British coins. Auction houses and numismatic experts often note that even circulated examples in fine condition can generate strong interest, as they offer a rare opportunity to own a piece of history without the higher premium associated with uncirculated specimens. The value of a 1955 2 shillings coin in circulated fine condition can vary depending on the specific wear and the prominence of its features. Generally, these coins have sold at auctions for prices ranging between $682,000 in recent years. However, Coins with exceptionally preserved detail or those with minor minting variations can attract higher bids, sometimes exceeding this range. The fluctuating market for British coins, combined with the growing interest in post-war numismatics, ensures that the 1955 2 shillings remains a viable investment for collectors looking for both historical significance and monetary potential. For collectors interested in acquiring a 1955 2 shillings coin, it is important to examine the coin carefully for wear and damage. Focus on the sharpness of the Queen's portrait, the clarity of the crown and floral motifs, and the absence of significant scratches or corrosion. Purchasing from reputable dealers or auction houses is recommended to ensure authenticity. Additionally, collectors should keep an eye on market trends, as coins in circulated condition can sometimes appreciate unexpectedly due to increased demand among specialized numismatic circles. Proper storage in a dry, secure environment will also help preserve the coin's condition and value over time. The United Kingdom 2 shillings 1955 coin in circulated fine condition offers a remarkable glimpse into Britain's post-war history and early Elizabethan reign. Its unique design, historical significance, and scarcity in well-preserved form make it a valuable piece for both new and experienced collectors. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or a casual enthusiast, owning this coin is not only a connection to history, but also an investment in a piece of British heritage that continues to captivate the auction market. The 1955 2 shillings truly exemplifies the enduring allure of collectible coins and the stories they carry through time. Next up, the United Kingdom 2 shillings coin from 1958 in extremely fine condition. This coin not only represents a fascinating period in British history, but also commands a significant value in the collector's market, making it a coveted item for numismatists and investors alike. The 2 shillings coin, also known as a florin, has a rich history that dates back to the 19th century. Introduced as part of Britain's move towards decimalization, the 2 shillings coin was initially intended to simplify calculations by being worth 1/10 of a pound. The 1958 issue, struck during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, is particularly notable because it reflects post-war Britain's transition into a modern economic era. The design and minting of these coins capture the craftsmanship and artistry that were hallmarks of mid-20th century British coinage. One of the most distinctive features of the 1958 2 shillings coin is its meticulous design. On the obverse, it carries the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, sculpted with striking detail that reflects the youthful vibrancy of the Queen at the time. The reverse showcases the traditional crowned Tudor rose, flanked by a thistle, shamrock, and leek, symbolizing England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales respectively. This intricate symbolism not only adds aesthetic value, but also makes the coin an emblem of national unity. The edge is reeded, adding a subtle texture that enhances both its tactile and visual appeal. Collectors particularly value coins with sharp, well-preserved features, and the 1958 florin, when in extremely fine condition, exhibits crisp details that make it stand out among other circulated examples. The rarity of the 1958 2 shillings coin is a major factor in its desirability. While it was minted in significant numbers, the survival of coins in extremely fine or uncirculated condition is relatively low. Over decades, many coins succumb to wear, loss, or damage, which makes those that remain in pristine condition exceptionally rare. Numismatic experts often highlight the 1958 florin as a key coin for completing a Queen Elizabeth II collection, particularly for those seeking coins that have retained their original luster and sharpness after more than 60 years. The combination of historical significance, aesthetic appeal, and scarcity drives high demand among collectors worldwide. In today's auction market, the value of a 1958 United Kingdom 2 shillings coin in extremely fine condition can be quite impressive. Depending on provenance, exact condition, and market trends, these coins often command prices ranging from $868,000. High-profile auctions have seen competitive bidding for specimens that display exceptional preservation, highlighting the premium placed on quality within the numismatic community. For collectors and investors, such coins represent not only a tangible connection to history, but also a potentially lucrative asset that can appreciate over time. For collectors aiming to acquire a 1958 2 shillings coin, several considerations are crucial. Firstly, condition is paramount. Extremely fine examples with minimal wear, sharp details, and intact luster should always be prioritized. Authentication by reputable grading services can provide confidence in the coin's quality and provenance. Additionally, understanding market trends and participating in trusted auction platforms ensures collectors make informed decisions and avoid overpaying. Safeguarding the coin with proper storage, including protective holders and controlled environmental conditions, helps preserve its value for future generations. The United Kingdom 2 Shillings 1958 coin in extremely fine condition represents a perfect blend of history, artistry, and rarity. Its design reflects the heritage and identity of the United Kingdom, while its scarcity makes it highly sought after among collectors. With its significant auction value and enduring appeal, this coin is more than just currency, it is a tangible piece of history and a prized collectible. For anyone interested in numismatics or historical coins, the 1958 2 Shillings stands as a shining example of why certain coins transcend their monetary value to become treasured artifacts in the world of collectors. Next up, we are diving into the world of rare UK coinage, focusing on the 2 Shillings coin from 1967. This coin has captured the attention of collectors worldwide due to its historical significance, unique design, and scarcity. If you are a coin enthusiast or an investor in rare currency, understanding the importance of this 2 Shillings coin could be both intriguing and potentially rewarding. We will explore its history, distinct features, rarity, current auction value in dollars, and tips for collectors seeking to add this remarkable coin to their collection. The 2 Shillings coin, also known as the Florin, has a long and storied history in British currency. First introduced in 1849 during the reign of Queen Victoria, the florin was designed to be a step towards decimalization, representing 1/10 of a pound. By 1967, the United Kingdom was on the cusp of full decimalization, which would occur in 1971, making coins like the 2 Shillings historically significant as some of the last pre-decimal currency in active circulation. The 1967 issue was minted under Queen Elizabeth II, reflecting a modernized design while retaining elements of traditional British coinage. Its production in limited quantities and the transitional period during which it was minted contribute to its appeal and rarity today. The 1967 2 Shillings coin is distinguished by several unique features that make it highly collectible. It is struck in cupronickel, giving it a durable yet visually appealing finish. The obverse features the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick, which portrays the young monarch in a graceful and dignified pose. On the reverse, the coin displays the crowned Tudor rose flanked by a thistle and shamrock, symbolizing the unity of the nations of the United Kingdom. This intricate design reflects both artistry and national symbolism. Coins in fine condition from this year often retain clear details on the floral motifs and lettering, making them visually attractive to collectors and numismatists. Despite being minted in relatively higher numbers compared to earlier florins, the 1967 2 Shillings coin is considered rare in today's market, particularly in fine or better condition. Many coins from this period were heavily circulated, resulting in wear, scratches, or loss of detail. A coin that has survived in fine condition is a testament to careful preservation, and such specimens are highly sought after by collectors. The rarity is further amplified by the fact that this coin represents a transitional phase in British currency history, adding historical significance to its intrinsic numismatic value. Collectors looking to complete sets of pre-decimal coins, or those focusing on Queen Elizabeth II's reign, are particularly drawn to this coin, driving demand and auction interest. The 1967 2 Shillings coin in fine condition commands a significant premium on the auction market. Depending on the coin's exact state of preservation, provenance, and historical appeal, prices can range widely. As of the latest auction data, coins in fine condition often sell for approximately $434,000, while those in very fine or extremely fine condition can fetch substantially higher amounts, occasionally reaching $956,000 or more. The market for pre-decimal British coins has remained strong, with collectors willing to invest in coins that not only offer historical value, but also aesthetic appeal. Coins with original luster and minimal signs of wear consistently outperform those that show heavy circulation, emphasizing the importance of condition in determining market value. For collectors interested in acquiring a 1967 2 Shillings coin, careful attention to condition, authenticity, and provenance is crucial. Always source coins from reputable dealers or auction houses to ensure legitimacy. When evaluating a coin, check for sharpness in the floral motifs and the clarity of Queen Elizabeth II's portrait, as these details significantly influence the coin's value. Consider storing the coin in a protective holder or capsule to prevent further wear and maintain its market appeal. Collectors should also stay informed about auction trends, as market demand and rare coin interest fluctuate over time. Finally, understanding the historical context of the coin can enhance appreciation and provide insights into its significance within a broader collection. The United Kingdom 2 Shillings coin from 1967 is more than just a piece of currency. It is a collectible artifact that bridges the historical era of pre-decimal coinage with modern numismatics. Its distinctive design, historical relevance, and rarity in fine condition make it a highly desirable item for collectors and investors alike. With careful preservation and informed purchasing decisions, owning this coin can be both a rewarding experience and a potentially valuable addition to any collection. Next up, the United Kingdom 2 Shillings 1956 coin, also known as the 1956 Florin. For collectors of pre-decimal British coinage, this particular issue offers a fascinating study in design, condition, and the enduring appeal of coins minted during the long reign of Queen Elizabeth II. We will delve into its history and background, examine its design features, discuss its rarity and collector demand, review its current market value in dollars, and conclude with actionable tips for collectors. The 2 Shillings coin, commonly referred to as a florin, has a history dating back to the mid-19th century. By 1956, the florin was a staple of British everyday currency, representing 1/10 of a pound under the pre-decimal system. The 1956 issue was struck at the Royal Mint in London in a copper-nickel composition, with a mintage of approximately 47.8 million coins. This was a period in British numismatics when the florin circulated widely, bridging the era between post-war austerity and the approaching decimalization of British currency in 1971. Though no longer legal tender, the 1956 florin remains an attractive collectible for enthusiasts of British coinage. Physically, the 1956 2 Shillings coin weighs about 11.31 grams and measures 28.30 millimeters in diameter, with a reeded edge typical of many British base metal coins of the period. On the obverse side is the first portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick, showing a youthful effigy of the monarch facing right, with the Latin legend reflecting her title. The reverse is adorned with a stylized design incorporating the Tudor rose, surrounded by thistles, shamrocks, and leeks, floral emblems representing England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales respectively. This botanical motif makes the florin especially appealing to collectors who appreciate national symbolism in coin design. In terms of rarity, the 1956 florin is classified in standard catalogs as scarce within the broader series, though relative to other dates in the florin series, it is not extremely rare due to its high mintage. What elevates collector interest is not scarcity alone, but condition coins that have survived in superior grades, such as extremely fine or better, are far less common in the marketplace compared to the large number that were heavily circulated. This dynamic of condition scarcity is a central driver in numismatic demand. Serious collectors, especially those creating type sets or Queen Elizabeth II series sets, will often seek examples with minimal wear and strong eye appeal. In specialist auctions, coins graded highly by professional third-party grading services can outperform generic, circulated examples in terms of interest and competitive bidding. Turning to current market value, reputable online coin catalogs indicate that typical price ranges for a 1956 2 Shillings coin in circulated grades can be modest. Standard sources list values from below $750,000 or slightly more for extremely fine condition examples. Retail guides also show that in the UK pound market, extremely fine coins may reach several pounds, which when converted can translate to modest dollar equivalents. It is important to emphasize that these price ranges reflect the general market for this date and type. Truly exceptional pieces that receive professional grading or appear in specialist numismatic auctions with competitive bidding can command significantly higher realization prices than typical dealer estimates, particularly among dedicated UK coin collectors. For collectors considering the 1956 florin, focus first on grading and condition. Coins in higher grades with clear detail on the Queen's portrait and minimal surface marks tend to have the strongest appeal. Given that this coin is a relatively common date in general circulation, investing in certification by reputable grading services can be a worthwhile step if you believe you possess an example of superior quality. Study the specific features of a well-preserved obverse and reverse under magnification to distinguish between extremely fine and uncirculated states. When purchasing, whether online or at auctions, review seller feedback and compare prices with recent realized sales rather than fixed-price listings alone. Finally, understand that market values fluctuate over time with collector trends, so maintaining awareness of recent auction results and numismatic publications will help inform your decisions. The 1956 United Kingdom 2 Shillings coin encapsulates the blend of history, design, and numismatic nuance that attracts collectors around the world. While widely struck and therefore generally affordable in most grades, its enduring appeal lies in condition-driven demand and its place in the classic Florin series of Queen Elizabeth II's coinage. Whether you are building a British pre-decimal collection or seeking condition rarities to enhance your holdings, this coin can be a rewarding acquisition. Continue to observe market activity, prioritize condition, and approach purchases with informed judgment to maximize both enjoyment and value in your collection. Next up, the United Kingdom 2 Shillings 1963. Today, we'll explore why this coin has captured the attention of collectors worldwide, focusing on its rarity, historical significance, unique features, and its impressive auction market value in US dollars. If you're a coin enthusiast or simply curious about rare coins, this video will give you a detailed look at what makes the 1963 2 Shillings such a valuable collectible. The 2 Shillings coin, also commonly referred to as the Florin, has a rich history dating back to its first issuance in 1849. Its purpose was originally to encourage decimalization in Britain, making the Florin a precursor to the later decimal currency system introduced in 1971. The 1963 issue comes from a period of post-war Britain, reflecting the monarchy of Queen Elizabeth II, whose portrait graced the obverse side of the coin. The coin represents both a continuation of the classic British coinage tradition and a transitional piece, bridging older Victorian designs with mid-20th century minting practices. Its historical value is enhanced by the fact that it comes from an era of careful minting, with attention to detail that is appreciated by modern collectors. The 1963 2 Shillings coin has several distinct features that make it stand out. On the obverse, it bears the right-facing effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin, displaying the Queen wearing the royal diadem. The intricate detailing of the crown and the Queen's features are remarkably well preserved in coins that remain in very fine condition. The reverse showcases the classic design of a crowned Tudor rose flanked by a thistle, shamrock, and leek, representing England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales respectively. This floral motif is highly detailed and symbolizes the unity of the United Kingdom. The coin is composed primarily of cupronickel, giving it a distinctive silver-like appearance, which, over decades, can develop a subtle patina that adds character without diminishing its value. Coins in very fine condition exhibit minimal wear, allowing collectors to appreciate the full artistry of the design. Although the 1963 2 Shillings coin was minted in relatively large quantities compared to earlier Florins, coins in very fine condition are significantly rarer. Many coins from this era were circulated heavily, leading to wear, scratches, and loss of luster. This makes examples in exceptional condition highly sought after by collectors. The rarity is further compounded by the fact that this coin marks one of the last issues of the Florin before the UK moved toward decimalization, making it an important transitional piece. Collectors are drawn not only to its historical importance, but also to the beauty and preservation of the coin itself. The combination of scarcity and high-grade condition and historical significance has created strong demand in the collector market. The auction market for a 1963 2 Shillings coin in very fine condition can be surprisingly lucrative. Depending on the grading, provenance, and current demand, these coins have been known to sell for several hundred US dollars. Coins graded as very fine typically fetch between $565,000, while those in extremely fine or near uncirculated condition can reach upwards of $742,000 or more at reputable auctions. Collectors are willing to pay a premium for coins that retain sharp detail, minimal wear, and an appealing overall appearance, making it an excellent investment for both seasoned numismatists and new collectors looking to diversify their collections. For collectors interested in acquiring a 1963 2 Shillings coin, attention to detail is paramount. Always examine the coin under proper lighting to check for wear on the high points of the design, including the Queen's portrait and the floral reverse. Be cautious of cleaning or polishing, as this can reduce the coin's value. Purchasing from reputable dealers or verified auction houses ensures authenticity, and it is advisable to look for coins that have been professionally graded for their condition. Additionally, Keeping the coin in a protective holder or capsule can preserve its luster and prevent damage from handling or environmental factors. For those serious about investing, tracking auction results over time can provide insight into the coin's market trends and potential future value. The United Kingdom 2 Shillings 1963 coin is a remarkable collectible, blending historical significance, artistic beauty, and investment potential. Coins in very fine condition are rare and highly prized, making them a valuable addition to any collection. Whether you are drawn by its historical context, the detailed design, or the robust auction market value in dollars, this coin exemplifies why British numismatics continues to captivate collectors around the world. For anyone passionate about coins or looking to invest in a piece of British history, the 1963 2 Shillings is a coin worth pursuing. Next up, the United Kingdom 2 Shillings of 1964, commonly known as the 1964 Florin. For numismatists and casual collectors alike, this coin represents a fascinating snapshot of British monetary history, a piece of art from the reign of Queen Elizabeth II that circulated long before decimalization transformed everyday currency. We will journey through its historical context, examine the physical and design features that distinguish it, discuss the factors behind its current collector appeal even in less than pristine condition, and finally review what the market is paying for these coins in the auction world today. The 2 Shillings coin, also called the Florin, was first introduced in Great Britain in the mid-19th century as part of efforts to modernize and simplify the currency system, with later issues continuing through the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. The 1964 issue was produced during a period when Britain still operated on the old pounds, shillings, and pence system, an intricate monetary regime that would eventually give way to decimal currency in 1971. The 1964 Florin bears the laureate portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, designed by Mary Gillick, and on the reverse features a floral combination representing the nations of the United Kingdom, created by designers Edgar Fuller and Cecil Thomas. This 1964 issue remained in everyday circulation until decimalization rendered it equivalent to 10 new pence, a status it maintained until 1993, giving it a long functional life beyond its mint year. Physically, the 1964 2 Shillings coin is distinguished by its copper-nickel composition, weighing approximately 11.31 grams with a diameter of 28.3 millimeters and a reeded edge. Its classic Florin design paired regal iconography with botanical symbolism. The Queen's profile carries the Latin inscription acknowledging her position as monarch, while the reverse displays a Tudor rose, thistle, shamrock, and leek, representing England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales respectively. This combination of aesthetic design and historical symbolism makes the 1964 Florin instantly recognizable. The fact that copper-nickel was used instead of precious metals like silver means the coin's intrinsic metal value is high, but its cultural and historical significance remains. Although the 1964 2 Shillings coin was issued in relatively substantial numbers, with a mintage around 16.5 million, it is categorized as very scarce compared to other years in the series. Among British florins, the 1964 issue tends to appear less often in collections and dealer inventories, which means collectors on the lookout for a complete pre-decimal set may especially value it. While high-grade uncirculated examples are uncommon, even circulated coins draw attention from those seeking to fill gaps in their runs. Despite its relatively high mintage, the scarcity rating reflects that finding coins in choice condition is increasingly difficult as survivors are scattered among private collections, inherited hoards, and long-forgotten drawers. In terms of market value, the typical 1964 2 Shillings coin is not considered a high-value rarity in the same league as antique silver issues or low-mintage-era coins. According to current collector price guides, typical values for these coins range from roughly $1 to a few dollars in average circulated condition, translating to approximately $325,000 depending on grade and market conditions. Coins offered online with unspecified condition are commonly listed in the $450,000 range, reflecting modest demand, but also recognizably greater interest among collectors compared to face value. Higher grades command modest premiums, but even in rusty, well-worn condition, a 1964 Florin will usually fetch above its nominal face value due to long-standing collector interest. It is important to note that there are occasional outliers on auction sites where examples in better condition or those certified by grading services sell for more, especially if presentation and toning appeal to a particular bidder. However, as a general rule for audio and visual narration, rusty or heavily circulated coins typically remain on the lower end of the price spectrum. For viewers and collectors considering acquiring a 1964 2 shillings coin, several practical tips are worth emphasizing. First, always assess the grade and condition carefully. Factors such as heavy corrosion, rust, or surface detracting marks can significantly affect desirability. Even though copper-nickel does not rust in the same way as iron-based metals, environmental exposure can lead to surface degradation that collectors tend to discount. Second, when possible, request detailed photos from sellers showing both obverse and reverse clearly under good light. Natural toning and original surfaces almost always outperform overly cleaned coins in long-term value. Third, reference multiple listings and completed sale results to gauge realistic prices, remembering that coins in rusty or poorly preserved condition will sell for less than cleaner examples. Lastly, if your goal is completing a set of British pre-decimal coins, consider trading with other collectors or engaging with numismatic forums where swaps may lead to better outcomes than simple retail purchases. The United Kingdom 2 Shillings 1964 Florin may not be a headline-grabbing rarity with six-figure auction results, but it is nonetheless a compelling and historically rich coin that forms a foundational piece of any pre-decimal British collection. Its classic design, connection to Queen Elizabeth II's early reign, and enduring appeal among numismatists make it a worthwhile subject for study and acquisition. Even coins in rusty or well-worn condition hold interest for collectors, emphasizing completeness over condition perfection, with market values reflecting modest but steady demand in dollars. By understanding its history, design features, and where it stands in the collector ecosystem today, you are better equipped to appreciate and evaluate this classic piece of United Kingdom coinage. Next up, the 1962 2 shillings, also known as the British florin. This coin represents a fascinating chapter in British numismatic history and remains a staple of British coin collections worldwide. The British florin, denominated as 2 shillings and equal to 1/10 of a pound sterling, was introduced in 1849 as part of early attempts to decimalize the British currency system. By the time of Queen Elizabeth II's reign, the florin had become firmly established as a circulating denomination and was issued from 1954 through 1970. The 1962 2 shillings featured in this video was struck by the Royal Mint at London and remained legal tender through Britain's transition to decimal currency in 1971 and even afterwards, circulating as the equivalent of 10 new pence until it was finally demonetized in 1993. This wide span of use means that most surviving coins show a range of wear, from heavily circulated pieces to specimens that have been well preserved by collectors. The florin stands as a bridge between Britain's pre-decimal and decimal coinage eras, carrying both historical and educational value for numismatists. The obverse of the 1962 2 shillings displays the laureate portrait of Queen Elizabeth II facing right, an effigy designed by Mary Gillick that was used in the early years of her reign. Encircling the portrait is the Latin legend declaring her title and role as monarch. On the reverse, viewers will notice a central Tudor rose surrounded by a wreath incorporating the thistle, shamrock, and leek, emblematic of England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales respectively. This design, attributed to Edgar Fuller and Cecil Thomas, is a visual representation of the United Kingdom's constituent nations and makes the florin an aesthetically pleasing coin as much as a historically significant one. The coin is composed of copper-nickel, weighs approximately 11.3 grams, measures about 28.3 millimeters in diameter, and features a milled edge. These specifications remained consistent with florins of the era and were engineered to provide durability for everyday circulation. Contrary to some assumptions, the 1962 2 shillings is not among the rarest British coins. According to mintage data, approximately 35 million pieces were produced, making it relatively common among pre-decimal florins. The widespread survival in collections and circulation means that while it is a desirable piece for completing a British coin set, it commands exceptionally high premiums on the open market when compared to genuinely rare issues such as low-mintage 50-pence error coins or very late florins dated 1970. Because most surviving examples were used as everyday currency and later demonetized, collectors typically regard the 1962 florin as a solid, common collectible rather than a trophy rarity. That said, its demand among enthusiasts remains steady, particularly for higher-graded examples such as those in extra fine or better. Now let's address the question every collector wants to know. How much is the 1962 2 shillings worth in dollars? Market pricing depends heavily on condition. In circulated grades, typical values range modestly. Indicative price guides show that an extra fine condition 1962 florin can command around $575,000 US, with coins graded very fine or fine selling for somewhat less. Extremely high conditions like about uncirculated or uncirculated may fetch a few dollars more, but these are not common enough to drive major auction prices. It's important to emphasize that while certain British coins can reach impressive auction results, this particular date and issue generally achieve high dollar values, even in premium condition. These guides incorporate recent retail and collector data rather than speculative listings, offering realistic expectations for buyers and sellers. If you are considering adding a 1962 2 shillings to your set, focus first on condition and grading. A coin in extra fine or better will display clear details on the Queen's portrait and the reverse floral design without heavy wear. Invest in protective storage such as inert flips or coin albums to prevent further degradation over time. Before purchasing, always compare multiple listings and completed sales rather than relying on asking prices alone, which can be inflated in some online marketplaces. For those interested in building a complete pre-decimal British coinage set, this florin serves as a foundational piece. Note that even it is rare, obtaining a high-grade example can elevate the overall quality of your collection. Furthermore, consider seeking professional grading for coins you believe may be in superior condition. An official third-party grade can enhance buyer confidence if you later choose to sell or trade. Finally, keep abreast of broader market trends for British coins, as values can shift with collector interest and broader economic conditions. The United Kingdom 1962 2 shillings is a historically rich, visually distinctive, and widely collected coin. Exceptionally rare by mintage figures, it holds value for collectors completing British pre-decimal sets and for those who appreciate mid to late century coinage. Its modest yet stable market value, typically a few dollars, in extra fine condition reflects realistic collector demand rather than speculative excess. With informed collecting practices and careful attention to condition, this florin can be a rewarding and enduring part of your numismatic journey. If you found this exploration useful, be sure to like, subscribe, and join us in upcoming videos where we examine other notable coins from around the world. Thanks for watching and happy collecting.